Shadow Main, Shadow 17. I'm closing in on the source of the signal. Over.
Shadow 17, Shadow Main acknowledge.
What the fuck?
Shadow 17, what do you see?
It's just,
What do you see?
It's just two skeletons and a ham radio. Over.
Say again.
I say again, two skeletons and a ham radio.
You're listening to Mad Tower Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the illustrious, elusive, semi-weekly podcast, Mad Tower Radio. My name is Dan, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Ryan and Christian. And if you don't know what this show is about, we're here to tell you about some of the stranger things in life. Cryptids, conspiracies, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Mothman, you know the drill. We're just here to talk about spooky stuff. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe down below and join the Gunch Squad. You know, we're trying to break some records here. Christian, Ryan, how you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Things have been looking up for me on the work side of things. But you know, work is work, and I'm always happy to hang out with my friends, you two, and talk about some spooky stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, Christian?
Absolutely. It's the one joy of my week. You know, I'm not at work. I'm not, toiling my 40 hours. I'm sitting here, locked in my closet, talking about the things that kind of make me scared.
See, it's good. It's great.
Absolutely.
Now, I know we've been leaning pretty heavily into the cryptids, even though we expressly say we do cryptids and conspiracies, right? Cryptids are a dime a dozen, right? Like, somebody sees a silhouette in the woods and it's a new cryptid. Okay? But, like, conspiracies, they're hard to come by. So, we get them when we find them, Or even just stuff that's more based in reality that's, like, worth talking about on this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So today, what do we got? We got a double or a triple feature on, like, real life based stuff?
I think it's a triple.
Yeah, it's definitely a triple.
Okay.
Triple. Let's go. Well, Ryan, you want to fucking lead us in then?
Sure thing. I'll lead us in with mine. So today we're talking about some conspiracies, and just a quick word of I was gonna say a word from our sponsor. Just a quick word from Manscaping.
Yeah, you wish.
Manscaping, Manscaping wants you all to know that while we do love a good conspiracy here on Mad Tower Radio, because these are things that we find interesting and cool. We by no means endorse some of the these conspiracies and things like that. We don't want to feed you things and say this is what's really going on. These are just things that we find interesting, and we want to talk about them with you. So that being said, do not show up at. I'm just kidding. Just start posting coordinates. But so that being said, my conspiracy is about the hum.
The hum?
Not to be confused with the Thum. We're talking about the hum.
Oh, yeah.
So, so essentially what this is, the hum is it's a phenomenon that this, like, people describe it as an invasive low frequency humming or rumbling noise that not all people can hear. However, it has been heard throughout the world. So there's not, so like people may say, oh, that's the hum. It might, they may be talking about several famous hums. There's the Taos Hum, the Auckland Hum, and the one I'm only talking about today is the Windsor Hum.
Okay. Now, I know Christian talked about something like this a little while ago when we were talking about the Aether Empire or something.
Okay.
Oh, yes. There was a related phenomenon, which, boring... rooted in science explanation was like a group tinnitus event.
Yeah.
It was a theory that, like, the earth has this vibration and this frequency that resonates through the atmosphere, and it kind of tickles people's ear every now and then, and they can sort of start to tap into it and make auditory hallucinations happen.
Yes, that kind of ties into kind of this. This in my research, I haven't found anything about the ether or anything like that. At least, this is more, like they're trying to figure out scientifically, and it got to a point where people figured it was something that was not normal, but something paranormal or supernatural. So essentially, this frequency kind of peaks at around 30 to 40 hertz, and some people say it can only be heard during cool weather. There's a light breeze, or really early in the morning. But essentially, people thought that they had tinnitus. So one person's like, I must have developed tinnitus somehow by, blasting Hatsune Miku at, 2,000 decibels late at night.
That's my favorite hobby.
And all right, while crying to Evangelion, so this person figured that might have been what happened to them. But then they found out that more people heard it. It wasn't just them. A whole town was hearing it.
Where was
specifically
this?
The Windsor. This was in the Windsor, Ontario. It's like south of Detroit, Michigan, actually.
Okay.
So it started out as like a low vibration, and no one knew what it was. But the one thing that people started to notice, or to kind of take note, was that this frequency, this humming noise, kind of started up around the time that this place called Zug Steel Mill started up. Now,
Zug?
Zug, bro. The Zuck, man. The Zug, Z-U-G.
That's wacky.
I know, right? Well, it's actually, there's a little island right off, like the river there called Zug Island, and that's where this factory was, this mill.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, so people were like, it has to be that. So they, at first were like, maybe it'll, like, stop. Maybe they were just setting up and things are going to kind of, like, die out once in a while, and, it'll be whatever. But eventually got to the point where people were going crazy. Because think about it, just a constant then just kind of subsonic, so you don't so much hear it, but you feel it in your head.
Oh.
24/7, non-stop.
Okay.
So people were wondering, what is this? Like, well, it's the mill. It's on Zug Island. So they try to reach out to the, whoever's in charge of this Zug Island. And some people tried to go into the island, but they were stopped by the United States military.
No way. That's
Yes.
too perfect.
No,
Zug in.
Zug Island.
Oh.
The mill there was contracted, I believe, by DARPA or the Homeland Defense, whatever it is, committee. The book club that defends the country.
That's nuts.
So people were not allowed in there. So they would try and call to say, hey, there's this noise, and they couldn't get an answer. There was like the standard, like, oh, we will check into it or stop calling.
Mm-hmm.
So people weren't even allowed on there. There was armed guards and like Humvees and like, APCs all lining the bridge, the only way in and off of the island. So they're like, there's some type of defense contract thing going on there. What are they making? So once they encountered like, oh my gosh, there's like the military's here. People went ballistic with the conspiracy theories. They said, people were figuring, hey, is this like a black site? Are they like, some people thought like, are they stripping like an alien spaceship? Is that why there's this unearthly vibration? Are they dealing with some sort of radiation that's coming from space? Or like, is the metallic whatever this spacecraft made of is resonating at some certain frequency? Are they working on some type of weapon, like some auditory weapon, an acoustic weapon? Because what was it? There's like these guys in Warhammer 40,000. They're called Sound Marines, and they shoot like these blasts of sonic energy, sonic waves out of a cannon that like liquefies people.
What
so
the fuck?
like people were like thinking like, oh my gosh, are they doing stuff like that? Or are they trying to like mess with like mind control? Are they trying to like work on a weapon that can like essentially win a war before it even starts by setting off this sound frequency and the enemy combatants just go crazy? Is there some type of portal there? What are they doing? People were going crazy. They had no clue what it was.
Roundabouts, what time was this? Time frame?
This was a time frame. This happened in the 1400s.
Shit.
No, 2012.
Oh, that's pretty fucking recent, huh?
Yes, it was recent. So people, what are you going to do? Local authorities were trying to like figure out, because people were going to them saying, I can't sleep, or I'm going insane. There is this noise. But like, so like they would, because the mill wouldn't answer them directly, they went to their officials in the town, and the officials said, well, we were in contact with them, and they said no new or unheard of equipment has been loaded into there.
Really?
But yes, and this lasted all of 8 years.
Jeez.
In April of 2020, they shut down the mill and the noise stopped. So you'd think that would be the end. People were just like, okay, great, it's over. I guess it was just whatever machinery they're using
was happening. Yeah.
No.
But people are still like, but now they want to know what was going on in there.
And they all probably have a crippling white noise addiction now.
Exactly.
They can't sleep in rural settings. Yeah, me too.
Exactly. So like, so other people were looking up what could it have been, some type of mechanical device, Sure, probably some type of, like it could be anything, but they think, people are out here thinking, what type of military secret black ops weapon, what could it be? Was it even human? Some people were I'll get to this like that. People who were experiencing this hum looked to other hums that had been reported prior in the world. Now, here's a hum called the Taos Hum. That happened in the early 1990s. And 2% of people in that area could hear it. They don't know where it came from. They said that it didn't matter if you were a man or a woman. Age didn't matter. Like, you heard this no matter what, but no one ever figured out what it was.
Yeah.
Then in 2006, there was another event with this hum. But that was in New Zealand. And again, no one knew what it was. They still had no clue what it was. So these Windsor hum people who are here, on our side of the world, are looking back trying to figure out what could it have possibly been. They're trying to figure out, was the New Zealand military in on it too? Oh, no, there was no information on that either. Well, no one knows what it was. I think that the most common sense explanation is that there was some type of machinery that was being used that was off-putting some type of subsonic frequency that people were noticing.
Do you think it's that simple?
I think it is, because I have, I'm not going to say I have a rather well-rounded knowledge of sound, but I have a secondary degree in sound engineering and sound design. So those are things that we have to take into account whenever we're treating a space for sound.
Yeah.
And, I know in our Discord call, we had, at one point we were talking about the anechoic sound chambers.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's so many things that affect how sound travels, especially let's say like a piece of machinery, a really big industrial grinder or something. Just a part of it is scraping just enough that it hits a certain frequency. The acoustics of that island and the whole structure could amplify that sound 1 trillion times over, to the point to where it does hit the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
Sound is sometimes it's easy to contain when you're in a small area, but when you're working with things like that and these different parts of the equation are so uncontrollable, anything could happen in terms of sound. So, I mean, to me, sure, I believe that something that they were definitely using some type of equipment on there, whether it be civilian use, industrial use, or some type of military grade equipment that was off-putting some noise. Do I think it was a sonic blast ray? Probably not.
Like a brain melter.
Yeah, something like that, like something you'd see in Fallout or something. No, I don't think it was that. I think maybe some piece of machinery was malfunctioning, and Homeland Security did not pay the company enough to fix it, so they just said, well, we're just gonna get it done. So I think it could be that. I looked up. I was looking up tons of different things that this could have possibly been. Some people said tinnitus, but then people were like, how can a whole area all get tinnitus at once?
Yeah.
There's these things called spontaneous autoacoustic emissions. And essentially what that is, it's your body letting off noise. your body will just generate noise internally, and some people it'll fire off and you can hear it.
Yeah, I hear those sometimes when you're just sitting there not doing anything, and it's like, wee.
Exactly. And like some people, like I thought that was tinnitus at first. So I was gonna go to the doctor. Then I was looking up. I was like, oh, I don't have tinnitus. My body's totally normal. I'm just able to hear just the noises of my body.
So, funny story about that. When I was a kid, I was really into Spider-Man, and I thought that was my spider sense.
When you would get like tinnitus?
So I would just hear like the wee, and I would like look around like something bad was gonna happen.
Dang, Dan living constantly in fear because his body's constantly making noise.
Emitting
I
the
did
spider
that.
sense?
I did that till I was like 9.
Nowhere is safe. Hello, Peter. Triple drown, Peter.
So,
If
dude,
I'm like a citizen, I mean, I feel like there's a solid amount of understanding that they would be worried that something's going on. Like the U.S. has deployed sound machines for riot controls and for I think naval fights since 2000. Like, have you seen the sound wave trucks that they fucking roll out on you?
Yeah.
bro, just watch Waco.
Yeah, like the sound attacks are out there, you know.
The FBI is gonna pull up and fucking put like a whole entire Bose sound system right outside your window and play death grips on repeat.
Sponsored by Shure and Sennheiser.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, sound attacks are real.
They are, and it's what they would consider less lethal way to engage an enemy or an active combatant. You know, melting their eardrums out,
Exactly.
causing permanent hearing damage. But at least you're not shooting them.
I knew this guy
At least
at
you're
work.
not. Oh, go ahead.
I knew this guy at work who would download like those dog whistle apps where you can like change the pitch and all that shit.
Yeah.
And he would make this tone so like just on the threshold of like human hearing and just hold it down with his phone at max volume for like 5 minutes until like someone said something. They would be like, "You guys hear that?" And he would turn it off and be like, "What are you talking about, man?" And
Funny prank.
he did it
All right.
all the time, and it was so funny because people just kept falling for it and just being like, I don't know what's going on right now. It was
Well, you know, like
fucking hilarious.
After a certain age, you can't hear certain frequencies.
You start to lose the higher
Yeah.
registers, don't you?
Yeah, the higher registers. So that's why, like, you know, when you're younger, you can hear a dog whistle. You're like, what's that noise? Like, you feel it more so than hear it. But then when you get older, you know, you'll be out there and someone's blowing a regular whistle and you're just like, hello? Just like, you don't hear anything at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, sounds weird like that because, you know, just the way the human body interacts with sound. Like, it's wild stuff. So I could definitely see why people in this area were like, what's going on? Because it could easily drive you crazy.
Man, I used to
If you're
think
not
that
me.
I used to think white noise machines were like lame. I was like, who needs this shit? Like blah 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 blah. And then my air conditioner has always been on since we like moved into this house, right? And it's finally
Yeah.
a little colder and I finally turned it off for the night once.
You're hearing everything.
And I laid, and it's just wee, and I'm like, and my wife about killed me because I turned that shit back on while she was sleeping, and we woke up just fucking frozen. I was like, I need something.
I got one for Christmas, a white noise machine, bro. It's awesome.
Really?
Oh,
It's
I'm sleeping
peaceful,
like a
man.
baby. It's like a little nest, and you can do like waves or like city streets or like crowded mall.
That's pretty badass.
It's funny when my sister came to visit me in college. She wasn't used to like when she would come see one of the shows we do. She wasn't used to how quiet it was. So when she was staying at the hotel, she had to put her phone on and put on like city noise on the phone. She's like, I was
Sheesh.
bugging out. She's like, I
Absolutely.
had no clue what to do.
You're a slave. You're a slave to the metropolitan death zone if that's what you have to do.
Man, I'm not a slave, bro. I'm a kid. I'm a squid. I'm just kidding.
One of the dudes I worked with in the Carolinas, he's from Miami, and we were in the mountains. He had to keep his laptop open with city noises on all night, like 8 hours every single night. And I was like, "You're a psychopath." And now
You
here I am
have
listening
to,
to
man.
beach noises.
That's psychopathic behavior. White noise is fine, but if it's like it has to be the city, you're cracked.
It's like my natural habitat now.
I need
I'm
to
like,
hear a homeless man getting mugged, please. Homeless man getting mugged, 10-hour loop.
10-hour. I could just listen to the fucking, was it Harvest Morning Oblivion soundtrack?
Christ.
I can
gentle
take
little thing.
I can take anything except for like just dead silence or like water dripping.
Water dripping could drive me fucking insane.
My cats have a little fucking
freak.
My cats have like a water fountain, one of those like, water fountains, I guess, because cats hate stagnant water. So it like constantly recycles the water, but when it's low, it won't just like, put it out like a faucet. It'll like drip, and it'll just be like beep 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 beep, beep all night. And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking break that thing.
What's it called? I was trying to think. Oh, man, I was gonna say something regarding that.
He's getting mind melted right now by the
I thought
sound
you were
gun.
having, like a gurgle moment.
They were blasting me from across the fucking all the way from up in Canada. I forgot it was. It must not have been important. It was probably some lame joke. So that was just God telling him he was sparing you and just took it from my mind.
Yeah,
You said, you know what, Ryan? We're not doing that one.
Enough of your shit.
For long-time listeners, you will recall the early episodes, like 1 through maybe 12. That was actually us inserting the hum to like infiltrate your mind. That wasn't because I was recording in a shit mic in a shit apartment with the window open.
Yeah, 1 through 12 is you getting brain blasted. Enjoy the
That was the
tinnitus,
hum.
bitch.
He said,
It was a part of our flavor.
Oh yeah. The doors slamming, the fucking Optimus Prime and the Autobots battling for the Allspark outside. Like, that was all part of the game, and you played right into it. And now look at you. Wondering what you hear right now.
It's definitely not me quietly farting into the mic. It's not that. Couldn't be.
Well, is that it for the tinnitus gun?
Yeah, dude. Tinnitus case closed.
The Havana research gun.
Oh yeah.
I know, right?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, nah.
You want me to take the reins now?
Send it,
Yeah,
brother.
bro, go for it.
So, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like I have the rap of doing like the kind of depressing ones,
You do.
like the sad boy ones.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't know. I think I can get a little sad sometimes with like fucking, Heaven's Gate. That was pretty sad.
For sure. Some of the
Or
cult
that
ones
guy.
kind of make me sad.
Or that guy that got like with the aliens and like his friend died and stuff like that.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Italian?
Zinfreda, yeah. Very
Yeah,
sad.
dude.
Well, today I guess is going to be no different.
Sweet.
It is a continuation of the episode 18 SETI and Ozma problem
Ooh.
subject.
Oh.
So there was this author. I mean, he's still alive. His name is Xizin Liu, and he's a Chinese science fiction writer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been busting out some of the hottest fucking science fiction of the century, and it's just now getting translated to English, so I'm just starting to get my hands in them. The first one was the inspiration for that episode, and I finished the second one, so I'm ready to move on to the next theory that spawned from his book.
Is this the one you were telling me where they like put sentient octopi on a planet to like terraform it, and then we came back like 1,000 years later and the octopi were like had a whole civilization?
No, but I'm reading that one right now, and it's getting really good.
Ooh.
Yeah, after I graduated from college, I just became sci-fi novel pilled, and I'm never gonna look back. It's so good.
Told you, bro.
So
You don't want to read
Fantasy's for the boys. Sci-fi is for the men.
when you grow up and you start reading fucking Isaac Asimov, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a 2008 book called The Dark Forest.
Okay.
And from it comes the Dark Forest theory. And it starts with a very well-observed, very well-informed phenomenon known as the Fermi Paradox. Are both of you familiar with this concept?
Yeah.
Vaguely. And by
So
vaguely,
for
I mean
those-
I've heard of it.
For those listening at home, it's like, well, if there's so much life and the universe is so big and everybody's so advanced, how come we haven't experienced extraterrestrial activity?
Oh, yeah.
Where are they then? And the concept of there being such a vast and unknowable universe with the terms of life and sentience is explored in this book. And there is a 3-part rule to this theory. So first is, all life desires to stay alive. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
The second one is, there is no way to know if life can or will destroy you.
Run that by
And-
me again. What do you mean?
So this is all in the context of extraterrestrial activity. Like, if you first encounter some kind of life, this book tries to say that you have to operate by these 3 rules. So at first contact, there is no way to know if life can or if it will destroy you.
Okay.
I could see that. It's like if we encountered some type of alien megafauna, there's no chance to know whether or not it would kill us if we encountered it.
Absolutely. Like, if at first contact you're not very sure, or there's no really way to be 100% sure, and that's the sticking point to it, the certainty of it. And the third piece, and the real hitter, is with no assurance, the safest method is to annihilate the other life form before it can annihilate you.
Okay.
So those 3 rules create the dark forest theory, and it paints a pretty bleak picture of the universe, and it's trying to say with those 3 rules that there could be tens, thousands, hundreds of thousands of civilizations, but they're operating on these theories, and they're trying to keep a radio silence because they don't know if there's something more technologically advanced or something more aggressive out there that if the first time it catches radio waves, it's going to shoot in that direction. It's going to try to defend itself.
Yeah, they're gonna point their Death Star that way.
Sounds like when I play
Absolutely.
Endless Space too. It's just
Like,
like encounter a new civilization. I was like, glass the planet.
The risk is too great, you know? Like, if you don't shoot first, they may have the ability to shoot first.
Yeah.
And when you combine this with the Drake theory, or the Drake equation, which was this mathematical formula made in 1961 to say and estimate that there are approximately 10,000 civilizations in the entire universe, or have been. You
That's
begin
wild.
to wonder, like, are they too scared? Do they not want to make this contact for fear of immediate retaliation?
Yeah. So I don't get me wrong. I think this is a very interesting topic, but like, you know, it's hard for me to buy that because that's just a very fucking human-centric way of thinking, and like, who knows how aliens have organized their civilizations and what their ideals and beliefs are. They might not even know what the concept of war is. You know what I mean?
I believe his like justification for that is the first one, that all life is trying to stay alive and expand in a non-infinite universe.
Yeah.
So like, for what we understand life to be, competition is integral.
Right. But I mean, what if it's like, I don't know, a fucking race of jellyfish men who haven't even made a weapon because there's like nothing suitable to hold or wield as a weapon for them. They just kind of float around and hang out that way, you know? Like, they don't even know what fighting is because they don't do it, they can't do it. You know what I mean?
I think it definitely implies like a certain level of civilization or a certain level of organization. It's not like if we found some weird, like, alien squirrel or some alien mole somewhere deep in a rock. This is
Well,
like
that's what I
something
meant.
that's-
I don't mean like,
Yeah.
alien fauna. I mean like these jellyfish men have a working society and everything. They've just never fought because that's just not something that they did. That's not something they had to do, Who knows? I just think it's very, I don't know, assuming to just project the way that humans are onto the way that aliens could be. I mean, don't get me wrong, we should definitely be prepared to, like, throw down against the
It's
galactic
very optimistic.
threat,
You definitely sound more like altruistic.
No, don't get
than
it
I
twisted.
expected you.
Join the mobile infantry today.
Yep.
Service guarantees citizenship, all right?
We're heading to Klendathu, boys.
Yeah. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all.
The theory expands from there with 2 more concepts, and I didn't really mean for it to become just like a definition game, but I think some of these things help paint the picture he's going for. So, the first thing we need to explore is the chain of suspicion, and it's going to sound a lot like the prisoner's dilemma. Like if I and you both suspect that danger might happen, does that make you more or less likely to shoot first?
Well, yeah, you're going to be jumpy because you, like you said, don't know if that person's going to pull the trigger first. So you're going to be inclined to lean more towards, instead of greeting with open arms, you're going to greet with your hand on your holster.
Then the layer after that is, does the other side know that I know I want to be friendly, but I'm worried about it, so he can shoot first because I don't want to? Or does he know that I'm trying to shoot first? Like, it can loop on itself over and over and turn into this really, like,
Right.
fearful cycle.
Yeah.
And after that, you have, with the concept he coins, technological explosion. So, his example is, think about the time it took in technological advancement in our society 250 years ago to today.
Yeah.
Massive leap.
Mm-hmm.
If we receive a radio signal from another planet and we want to invade them, we make a concerted effort to send a warship or to send some kind of physical object to them, it could take 2, 3, 4, 500 years to get there, and who knows what the technology will be like to combat them when it gets there.
Right.
So he says that this further complicates the Dark Forest theory, because if you do have the capability to annihilate someone, you're also risking exposing yourself, because if you send something to get there and then they leap so much farther in technology in that time, you're sending a 300-year-old warship, can they get you back 3, 4, 5 times as hard?
Huh.
It's kind of like, that kind of reminds you of like the Covenant in Halo.
Exactly.
In the first, I think it's called Contact Harvest, where they first engage the Covenant, and they're like, oh yeah, we fucked them up. Like, it was just like little scouting parties, and then the Covenant showed up in force and just like glassed the planet.
Yeah.
But then by the time the Covenant made it all the way to this, like, closer to the core worlds to where like Reach was, we had already, the UNSC had been cranking out Spartans at that point, and one Spartan in particular paid it back tenfold.
My man.
My man.
Thank you for your service.
The super weapon himself.
Literally. Dark Forest Chief.
I mean, who knows? Like, with the rate that it took just for humanity to form, like, we're working in light years here, right? And who knows? I mean, maybe all of this stuff seeded and fucking started forming around the same time. So maybe all these alien civilizations out there are like only like, comparable, in the same fucking ballpark as humanity right now. So, you know, they might be having their own fucking Fermi Paradox on Persear or wherever the fuck they live, you know?
Well,
Tell me more about Perseer.
are they bad on that?
Hey. Don't be hey. I'll tell you about the Persear women after the show.
Isn't there some?
Oh, or did you
kind
mean
of-
like morally bad?
Oh Jesus! No, I meant. You know what I meant. We come up.
Come on. Come on.
It's I believe Stephen Hawking, who did he die? Wait, is he dead?
Yeah, he passed away.
Okay, I believe Stephen Hawking, when he was alive, was advocating
real
that
one.
we should definitely calm down with the blasting out radio waves, sending out our signal, sending out the golden fucking spaceship that has our direct coordinates back to our planet, because that's inviting something that we don't understand and don't want back to our solar system.
That's real rich coming from a guy with PhDs and fucking college education and all that shit. How about you think about the working man, okay? He's bored. He's seen a map of the world. He wants aliens.
I mean, that depends. I mean, I'm very much depending on what kind of alien. You know, are we talking like
Exactly.
Liara Tassoni? Or are we talking about the Tyranids? Like, I'm
Shit.
very picky. And who
I'm
shows
down
up
with
at my
both.
planet?
I'm down for Mass Effect, and I'm down for Starship Troopers. Let's go.
Man, you say that to you end up like that dude who got his brain sucked out at the radio station in Starship Troopers. Like,
Hey, if that's
I'd
how I
rather
have to
not be
go, that's
involved
how
in
I
it.
have to go. It's more interesting than fucking dying of dust inhalation at a fucking steel mill or some shit.
just took in too much fucking asbestos.
Yeah.
Tearing
But
down
it's
the local Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria.
Space asbestos now. And the entire crux of this story is humanity encounters another race in the 70s, I believe it is, and through communication they say, hey, we're going to be there in 400 years, get ready,
For
we're
what?
coming to swing.
Oh, they straight up gave us a declaration.
They said it's on site when we get there in 2455.
Oh, that's fine. I'd be like, I guess it's on site.
How
then.
nice
At
of
that
them, I
point-
guess.
Well, then the whole, like, it goes through those 400 years of, like, the first two books of, like, how are we going to prepare? Like, are we going to build ships? Are we going to build defenses? Are we going to run away?
These colors don't run.
Did they give them, like, what was it? Was it just like, hey, it's on site? Or were they like, here's our numbers, here's what we're bringing? Like, are these aliens looking for a fight? Or are they just like what are they coming there for in the first place?
Trisolarians live in a solar system with 3 suns, and it fucked up their planet. So they're like, we need a new planet. And you guys were sending out radio waves. You purposely sent a message to us, so we know exactly where you're at. So we're coming to take your planet.
Not
Thank you.
even a hint of diplomacy. They're just like, it's ours now.
Not even a little bit. I mean, some people on Earth are like, oh, they're going to come and they're going to make this great hybrid civilization, but those are, outcasts in society.
Death Star.
The Death Star? That's your plan?
Shred them.
Yeah, me too. If you're rolling up from your space land, saying that you're gonna pull up here and not even attempt to be like, hey, let's try and coexist.
They didn't give any
it's-
indication
it's-
of what their weapon capabilities are.
By the end of the second book, their forward scouts have arrived in the solar system, and they fuck them up. They fuck up the Earth fleet in like 10 minutes. It's crazy.
Oh no, dog.
Like, the Earth fleet's all excited. They're like, we've been working on this battleship for 400 years. Like, this is the prime of human technology. And then the one forward scout, like, fucks them up.
Did we get some good hits in?
Not even one good hit in. At the end of the second book, it's super depression. The third one's out. It's called Death's End, and I'm going to check it out probably in the next month. But
Let me know what the
There-
MacGuffin is for humanity to win in there.
well, the the like dark forest theory is the secret weapon that one of our guys is trying to use. He says, listen, if you invade Earth, he tells this to the Trisolarans, I'm going to broadcast our location as far and as wide and in every direction I can, so that some other civilization's going to come, and if you take our planet, they're just going to come fuck you up next.
And were the aliens like, let them try?
They did say, that's stupid, why would you do that? But he showed them that it worked, because he in the book they say he cast a spell on another planet. He broadcasted the coordinates to some random planet on some random solar system out in every direction, and then 300 years later they looked and it was blown up.
Oh, shit.
To say, like, if I do this, there's something more advanced out there that's shooting on sight, just like you were. And he's holding the Earth hostage at the end of the second book.
Jesus. That sounds fucking crazy.
Yeah.
See, I don't need shit like that. I need stuff where the humans got a chance, alright? I need Halo. Okay? Mass Effect. You know, that's the realm of sci-fi I'm looking in.
I've got way into that depression sci-fi.
I want them to show up, and I want us to have, you know, a chance.
Nah, bro, anything like Halo Reach, Dan.
No.
You're over thinking you're Master Chief, and we're actually all Noble 6. We're actually all Cat.
Hey. Don't play about Cat. Alright, remember Reach, brother.
Hey, I love that track. I play it when I lift weights. I just sit there crying.
Well, so
Tears streaming down my
you know,
face.
earlier I was like talking over you, Christian, interrupting your segment. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think this is a, you know, poor way to look at potential galactic relations, or what do you think?
I think it's the most depressing way to look at it, but the way that it's described in the text, like it makes you understand why everybody would be gun shy and why everybody would either fly under the radar or have no choice but to at least, like, if not kill on sight, if not shoot, like puff up your chest a bit.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with a little fucking chest puffing as long as we can have a civil conversation, right? But like
the risk of that to puff up your chest is to invite retaliation, and there's just the most. Oh, I'm sitting there on the train reading this book, hurting my heart, bro. There's such a horrible expression of that moment in this book.
yeah, it all sounds very depressing.
Oh, it's phenomenally depressing. It rocks.
It's very interesting though. I wouldn't say it rocks, you know.
No, I mean,
I want to see our boys win.
The thing about your mid-20s is you no longer, or at least for me, you no longer consume media to be happy and to enjoy things. I want to be scared. I want to feel like shit. I want to be sad. I want to go see movies and plays that make me pissed and cry.
Oh yeah?
And
You weren't crying during Spider-Man. What's your defense?
Called you out. He said you're not human.
You were soy jacking in there with the rest of us.
Sometimes you need some brevity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's what I got for the dark forest theory. A very bleak look out at the universe.
Well, that was a very interesting segment. I'm going to have to ask you to stop doing it because I like to have fun. Now, I'm going to keep this depression train going. And for you longtime listeners, who remembers episode 5, where we talked about the nameless beast of Berkeley Square? And also, we talked about Romtha's School of Enlightenment. Ryan, did you listen to episode 5?
No, I haven't heard that one.
Okay, so let me give you a rundown on who Romtha is, right? So, way out in Yelm, Washington, there's this woman named Jay-Z Knight, and she runs a self-help school workshop kind of thing, kind of like
It's a cult.
Kind of like a TED Talk, right? It's a cult. It's just a cult. don't get it twisted, right?
Yeah.
And it's called
Yeah.
Romtha's School of Enlightenment, and Romtha is this like 30,000 year old being from Lemuria. You ever heard of Lemuria?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's like an ancient warrior king god that like Jay-Z Knight is able to channel, and she sells like tickets to Romtha, like to watch her and Romtha give classes on like self-help and stuff like that. It's very, very like preachy, like vague self-help stuff, and it's like, oh, you like, we're all about like opening your third eye and like reincarnation and immortality, and it's like all you got to do is like come to the show and like listen to the message of Romtha, blah 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 blah. And that's one thing, right? But then you get there and quote unquote Romtha is like, oh yeah, you got to fucking smoke a bunch of fucking pipe tobacco and drink a shitload of wine when you're in these classes if you want to like access the quantum realm, right? And so she'll just get up on stage and just get fucking tanked like 3 sheets to the fucking wind, man. And she'll just start saying all sorts of off the wall shit about like, that's racist, and it's like, anti-Semitic, and like just all sorts of crazy cracked shit.
What?
And she's a fucking whack job. Salma Hayek? She went to Romtha's School of Enlightenment, so.
Did she really?
Yes, she did, my friend. Yes, she did.
That's wild.
So I went and revisited Romtha's website for a Romtha 2022 update. Okay? So, she has a number of like free videos on her fucking website. And I gotta say, in the 2 years since I've last been on this website, they must have got a bona fide web designer with them.
Oh, shit.
Because this website is much better now, right?
It looked bad when I was there last. Like, shitty clip art, like 1999 ass website.
No, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good website. It was easy to navigate. I was on the free page and I watched a bunch of stuff. And so the first video I helped myself to was the RSE Campus Life video, right? And so in that video, it's not Romtha, but it's like her 2 lackeys that are like giving a tour to like newbies, right? And so at the let me catch myself there. At the Romtha compound, right? At the Romtha compound, there's they do a bunch of like events, I guess, kind of like, I don't know if you've ever been to a vacation Bible school, where you guys like go around and like
they do like sack races and stuff like that?
play games and stuff. Well, yeah, sure, like sack races, right? So the first one is like you write something on a card and then they tape it to a fence, right? And this fence is like a little box, it's like a little fenced in area. And so they'll tape the card randomly on the fence, blindfold you, and fucking spin you around in the middle of this field, and you're just supposed to walk around until you find your note card. Right? And then, like, the fucking trainer, the advisor, whatever the fuck you want to call him, she's like, the students right now, they're like, they're accessing the quantum physics of, like, breaking free from like this reality and realizing that they are gods, and if by finding their card, they're like putting themselves on the right track to being able to manifest whatever they want in life, blah 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 blah. And then he goes, this one's straight from Ram's mind himself. They call him Ram for short. And like it's just fucking cracked. And then the next one is like kind of the same thing, but it's like a little maze, like a fucking McDonald's play place, but you're blindfolded and you're walking through it looking for your note card. And then the next one, my favorite, and me and Christian talked extensively about this one on the first Rontha episode. She does blind archery, blindfolded archery.
Yes, you do.
You know, so I got to see a little video of them doing blindfolded archery, right? And there's like a fucking Romtha support group website of people who, like, you know, used to go to these classes, and they're like, it's like, oh, so many stories on that website. It was like, I just left Romtha, blah, 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 blah. And people would be like, what made you leave Romtha? And they were like, blind archery. So people are fucking getting hurt in fucking blind archery. You know, like, we read some stories on there. People were getting, like, shot in the hands and all that shit. Like, just all sorts of crazy shit with the blind archery. Like, there's a lot of injuries that have been sustained on fucking Rontha's compound. Like, some old lady died.
Mm-hmm.
It like, just all sorts of crazy shit, right? And then at the end of the video, they toured something called the Blue Room, and this was new to me. I didn't know about this. It's kind of like sensory deprivation, right? It's a soundproof, lightproof tank that is just lined with fucking UV lights and mirrors. And it's like, oh yeah, like, Romtha's like, yeah, I love just soaking in the Blue Room, you know, I fucking, you know, it really opens up the quantum pores and just shit like that. And, like, they're, like, talking about it, they're like, we've built 5 Blue Rooms, and, you know, we're even experimenting with a Blue Room for your pets. And then they, like, hard cut to, like, a dog in, like, a UV sensory deprivation chamber. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? It was nuts. So that was the first video. You know, it's always a good time on Romtha's compound. Christian, you remember anything good about Romtha that's, like, slipping me before I move on to the next video I watched?
I'm trying to remember or not if this was Romtha, but don't they have, like, battle royals in the woods? They have rumbles on the farm?
Oh my god.
So that is, like, an unconfirmed thing, but when I did the first Romtha episode, I talked to a dude who was from Yelm and, like, had seen the Romtha compound and been there, and he claims that there's, like, you know, a whole bunch of shit fucking going on there. Like, they have, like, blind archery, and then it's like, he said that Romtha forces you to take drugs and then, like, puts you in that little maze thing, and it's fucking crazy. You know, and, like,
I do remember that part, yeah.
Just all sorts of shit like that. And I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, you know, because I haven't been out there, but that's what he said. And he's, like, from the area, you know?
That's wild. What the heck?
Yeah, it's Rontha is a fucking nutso can of worms, Ryan. Go listen to episode 5 if you haven't. If you don't,
yeah, no, I'm actually queuing it up so I can listen to it while it's dead at work tomorrow. So
yeah, Rontha's fucking crazy. So I mean, yeah, there you go. That's Rontha. She's just very, very, like, self-help, super vague, super, like, just stuff that sounds cool, but when you're like, what does that even mean? It's just like, you don't know, you know?
yeah.
And so then, go ahead.
Oh no, I say she's like a gasser. She just, like, gasses you up with all this stuff. But the moment, like, you try and inquire, it's like either you're not a believer or, like, your brain is too small.
Oh yeah, we talked about it in the first episode. She, like, heard a guy, like, contradict her in the audience, and she, like, brought him on stage and just started calling him names in front of everyone else and fucking, like, just bullying this guy, calling him a piece of shit, and then, like, kicked him out.
That's like this is all super unhealthy, but that's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny.
Get up here, you piece of shit, you ugly piece of shit. What type of clothes are you wearing, dude? Looking like a rolled up dollar bill. She just starts sparking the poor guy.
That's absolutely what she did. You know? All because he made, like, one little contradiction.
There was one thing I did want to bring up, since I knew you were going back to Romtha. I was going to ask you if you saw the film that Romtha School made.
No.
The Romtha School of Enlightenment made a film called, it's like, What the Bleep Do You Know?
Oh, God.
And it tries to explain some of the, like, weird non-Earth type facets of the Romtha story. It's like a metaphysical, like, brain waves have the power to change reality type thing, and it kind of blew up for like an indie cult film.
Really?
It made something like $15 million.
No way. When was this?
2004, my dude.
Huh.
So maybe something we can have a little watch along.
Oh boy. I'm always down to do
Let's
more
do
Ramtha
it.
stuff. Because I was having a lot of fun watching her videos today. So the second one I watched was called Jay-Z Night and Ramtha. And I didn't know this, but this was the first camera interview with both Jay-Z and Ramtha. And it was created in 1998. And it's so fucking weird, man. And it's like, there's no direction because the Romtha lore never starts at the beginning, right? Jay-Z Night is just like, yeah, one day I could channel Romtha, you know? And Romtha doesn't give out a fucking, like, start and end to their philosophy. Every major religion you look at today, right? You know, you read their religious text, very clearly there is a beginning and what happened in that beginning, right?
Yeah.
Nothing with Ramtha. Ramtha just comes out of the fucking woodwork and starts giving out, like, fake deep fucking quotes and shit. And it's so funny because, like, Romtha has an accent, and it keeps, like, flip-flopping between, like, a racist Indian accent and, like, an 1800s British big game hunter who's, like, in Africa. You know?
She can't hold down her dialect to save her fucking life.
No.
Oh no, she's a bad voice actor.
It is fucking hilarious, right? And it's just like a flip-flop back and forth between Jay-Z being like, oh yeah, this is how I met Romtha, you know? Romtha isn't an illusion. I'm not fucking crazy. Romtha is real. And then it, like, cuts to Romtha, and Romtha's like, did you know that you are a god? And it's like, oh god. You know, it's super fucking big, like, you have the power, like, you can manifest all this, like, just come to my $5,000 class. And it's the same old that we know with Romtha, you know. But, I mean, sometimes she was catching me off guard. Something with, like, I don't know, just some of the shit she was saying, I was, like, found myself just getting, like, fucking lost in the video, and then I was like, I'm watching a fucking Romtha video, you know?
I was gonna say it sounds kind of dangerous, damn man. We have to, like, cut you off, bro.
I mean, I can empathize, right? To the people that get sucked into this, you know, because imagine you're a disillusioned young person, you know, and, like, the church, because check it out, right? Jay-Z Night and Romtha are not anti-Christ, anti-Christianity, or anything like that, which is their targeted demographic, I would say, right? And they're just, like, very anti-religious organization. Like, she's shitting on the Catholics all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just very weird because you just get taken advantage of by, like, this girl who's like, hey man, you know, you don't like the church that much? How about you come to mine, where we have the cool Jesus, you know? Like, Romtha's always like, why don't you ever talk about Jesus' wife and kids, like Da Vinci Code shit, like all sorts of just wacky shit. And
so she just plays on the insecurities of people who've been burned by the church. That's what it kind of seems like.
Maybe, you know, maybe I haven't talked to a lot of Ramsters. That's what they're called. But that's what I would see. Like, that's what I'm seeing from outside looking in. And, you know, I just bought 3 fucking American airline tickets, round trip to Yelm and back. So I'm gonna be booking our fucking tickets for an actual Romtha workshop here in a little bit. We're going, boys.
You've got me fucked up. If you think I'm walking onto that set.
I'm not, man.
Why not, dude?
2 words, bro. Blind archery. That's why.
Oh no, we'll just sign up for the workshop. I think you have to pay to do blind archery.
Nah, so you have to pay to die. I see.
We'll just go
nice.
drink some wine and smoke some pipe tobacco with fucking Romtha and the crew, you know?
You could buy a plane ticket and come do that here with me for free, bro.
Nah, dog. We need to be in the
Honestly,
presence of a god.
like you've had her name on your mouth enough times. She's gonna know when you walk in that you're trying to clown her. She's gonna recognize you.
Yeah, she gonna invite you up and start making fun
I'll
of
put
you.
on some fucking
Exactly.
Groucho Marx glasses.
Ooh, that's good. She'll never know
She'll
that.
never know.
Her god eyes will be fooled.
Hey, you know, Romtha knows me, but Jay-Z don't. Jay-Z Knight, she don't know who I am. Right?
That's true.
So,
You should start calling, if you did show up, you should start like calling yourself like a different thing and see if she plays along and be like, ah, yes, I am Dan, Lord of Cinder. And she's like, ah, yes. The Lord of
Oh.
Cinder."
We knew he would come.
I should get in there and just be like, oh, you can only channel Romtha? That's cute.
Dang, dude.
I can-
play him down.
I can channel the green
Jesus
M&M.
Jesus. Oh, no. You channel the gunch.
So, my last and favorite fucking video was the it's just called Rockumentary, right? And I highly recommend you all go
Excuse
watch
me?
this. It's called the Rockumentary, like documentary, but
Hell.
rock, right?
I don't know.
So it opens with this weird fucking sequence that you'd see in like a 1998 fantasy movie of like some warrior looking dude on a horse and like flashing images of a map of like Lemuria, right? And I shit you not, Romtha comes walking out of the tree line with her army behind her, carrying the fucking Romtha banner standard, dude. Hold on, I fucking screenshotted an image out of there because it was so fucking wild. Look at this
Can you
shit.
roll back a sec about Lemuria? I don't know what that is.
Oh, the ancient civilization that fought the fucking Atlanteans. Get with it, dude. Come on.
Shit.
Yeah. Rontha led an army of 100 million, okay? Defeated the Atlanteans at war. Was a master strategist.
Okay.
But look at this. It's Rontha. They're
Like-
carrying the royal colors of Rontha.
That looks like a
Let's-
low budget Ren fair.
Right?
It does.
It's
Let's see
insane.
how well she would hold up against the might of Garmelin.
And
you
it's
know
got
what I'm
like this Game of Thrones ass music. It's like, and then it just hard cuts to like picture flashes of like historical events, and then Carry On My Wayward Son just starts playing loud as fuck.
saying? It
just
sounds like a fever dream.
totally licensed the music, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? I had to pause it because I was just rolling, right? And then it cuts to other clips of like Rontha just wiling out, like banging wine bottles together like Stone Cold, just over like various
Warriors.
just over like various oldies and like dad rock songs, and it was fucking crazy. And then out of nowhere it stops again, and then it cuts to Rontha, and Rontha says there were 2 world wars. Don't you think you were involved with them before you are who you are today? And then it hard cuts to World War II footage, dude. It's insane.
Rontha, come on. He's like, yes, Bon Jovi, that's my shit.
Rontha fucking...
Tell them quickly.
Dude, Rontha loves the
Jay-Z.
classics. That's the only reason I was able to get as far into this video as I did. It's like 40 minutes. It was because sometimes the soundtrack was just killer. I was like, this is wild, man.
Sounds wild.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking sounds like something you'd see on like Super Prison or Xavier the Renegade Angel.
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of like the vibe I got from that whole situation you just explained to me.
Dude, it's so surreal watching all the stuff that's on her website for free. Let me drop a link in the chat.
You just described like an episode of Squidbillies to me. Is what it sounded like.
Look, if I didn't know and I woke up in the middle of the night and just saw this, I'd think I was watching Adult Swim.
Do you think you could get away with wearing a wire on the Rontha compound, or you think they'd fucking rip you to shreds?
I don't know.
You're gonna find
Only
out.
one way to find
Yeah.
out.
We're gonna have to put that wire on you.
But like,
You guys are coming too. I don't know what this whole like you thing is. It's a we. This is a Mad Tower Radio endeavor.
We gotta look like down on our luck. We gotta look sad and disheveled and shit.
Yeah.
Do we, or do we have to look rich? And she'll be like, because we all know that's what the play is. We all know that's what the grift is. Wants the people to give their money. So if we disguise ourselves as like successful podcasters, we have money to burn. Just be like, I'm just trying to find out my meaning in life, and just like see what happens from there.
Oh, like the influencer angle.
yeah. Then she's like, oh, these are the people that I need.
She'll kill me.
She'll kill
Yeah,
me.
dude. We need to send Smosh to the Romtha compound.
Oh my God, no! Smosh is dead.
So she just keeps going, and then she's like, everyone in this room, I know that most of you in this room, you are the soldiers that bled out on the battlefield, and when you were staring at the light at the end of the tunnel, you said, no, there's more work to do back on Earth. And so you came back and you fought to change the world. And then it just starts hard cutting to like MLK and the civil rights movements. And I'm like, yo. she's like, you fought for the fucking civil rights to change the world, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
That's gonna be so weird because you're gonna have like some random guy that'd be like, "You're right, I was MLK in a past life." Like what?
Just firing on absolutely all cylinders, right? And I thought it was gonna keep going into the modern age, right? And no, she goes back to the Dark Ages and starts laying into the Christian church, starts laying into organized religion, and then she just comes back to like present day and just starts laying into like corporations, and then it just starts flashing like Matrix imagery over like Victoria's Secret ads talking about how like we need to break free from like these corporations. I'm like yeah, I get it. Like that, you're speaking the slightest amount of truth right now, Jay-Z. But then you go around and charge people like $800 to come shoot arrows on your little fucking farm, dude. You're doing the same goddamn thing you're telling people to break free from. Go fuck yourself.
You're to be blindfold, and it's just like it's what's the word? Populism in every single direction you can get in. It's like
yeah.
Corporations are bad, God's bad, organized religion's bad. Like just
the most general blanket thing. It's like racist bad, wars bad, corporations bad.
But I'm good.
God,
I'm tight.
Bad.
Lizards good.
Shooting bows and arrows blindfolded. Good.
That's the play.
That rocks.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just fucking wild, man. And then, Jay-Z night / Romtha. I don't know if it's Jay-Z night or Romtha, but one of them is getting fucking hot and bothered when they're up on that stage drunk as fuck. You know?
What do you mean by that?
Several sequences in the rockumentary, she starts talking about, like, they're like, we need to tear down the sacredness of sex and, like, enjoy our sexual freedoms and, like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa. And then, quote, this is a Romtha quote. Jay-Z didn't say this. He goes, you guys remember the other night? I said I have balls as big as space. I'm like, huh? What's going? Yeah, Rontha said that. Rontha's packing apparently.
This whole thing sounds like an "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" grift.
It's insane. It is insane, and it is real, and it is free. Go watch it. I promise you won't be disappointed. You will at least be entertained.
All right, I may have to check it out,
dude.
The more
it's awesome.
Like we go into it, the more worried I am. Like, because if you Google Romtha School, one, Mad Tower radio symbols like the 30th thing.
Yo,
now.
let's go.
But exactly
like this video, boys.
If this picks up too much, they're gonna be like, "That's the heretic. He doesn't believe in the giant space balls."
Bring it on, Rontha.
But I'm on their website, right? I'm looking at their worldwide coordinators. There are 33 different countries with names and addresses and emails, like where she's like converting people internationally now. So,
oh yeah, she live streams all her videos.
Can you take a worldwide Romtha army?
Huh? Yeah. I'll beat their asses.
Listen, we're not the Atlanteans, bro. We're a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Rontha have a little bit of a harder time with us, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you think you're gonna take me as easily as 100 million fucking Atlanteans? You know what 100 million Atlanteans didn't have? Automatic 3D printed ghost guns, okay?
An M14, okay?
Yeah. All right.
They didn't have America's blessing, the M16.
They didn't have the anarchist cookbook, all right?
You're on a list now.
They don't know that if you take fucking and mix it together, that is essentially
Hell yeah, dude. How do you think I keep my car warm?
But yeah, Rontha don't know how to fight against that. All right.
Okay, I mean, if you're feeling different about it, you keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I don't care. If Rontha wants to talk to me, we can talk it out, dude. You might have balls as big as space, but I got fucking balls that bleed over into the divine pleroma. Okay, that's how big they are.
Me and the demiurge. He's got my back.
Yeah.
Got them Yaldabaoth nuts.
Yeah.
I got you.
What you know about Sophia? Huh? Nothing. I'll take Romtha. Bare hands.
Okay.
But yeah, Jay-Z Knight and fucking Romtha, fucking weirdos, man. And like, I don't know. Part of me, she was selling me, right? Not on Romthaism and the school of enlightenment, but like, wow, I think she actually believes what she's saying. You know, I think she actually thinks she's channeling Romtha, but at the end of the day, I still just don't buy it. She's in it for the grift. She's trying to make some money. She's trying to do something, but I definitely don't think she believes that she's channeling Romtha. The veil is just too thin, man. With the accent and the fucking inconsistencies and just the amount of bullshit, I don't buy it. Fuck you, Romtha. And the horse you rode in on.
I mean, if it's coming easy, you know, if so many people are like giving up the cash for it, why do you got to go that hard?
What do you mean?
Like, if her silly fake accents and getting wine drunk on like a comfy boy chair on that stage is perfectly fine enough to get like the grift going, why would she need to go harder? Why would she need this elaborate, like well thought out?
Yeah, she's working smarter.
Lore?
She's working smarter.
Oh, you're saying like if it works, it works?
Yeah, it's like clearly it's working for some people, but you know, it's kind of like with hypnosis. I've heard that if you go into like a session of hypnosis, knowing that it's hypnosis and you are like fully aware and you are trying to counter it, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So in that same light, if you walk into this Romtha rally saying this is bullshit,
yeah, I mean,
like this, you're not going to get wrapped up the way some people do, who are maybe more down on their luck, or people who are more,
absolutely.
You know, that's like the same thing. People who fall for these fake psychics, you know, like they're so heartbroken that they just lost a loved one that they'll do anything to talk with them again.
Right.
So they get wrapped up in the spell.
Right.
But as opposed to like me, if someone's like, "Hey, I could talk to your grandfather," and I was just like, "He's dead," that's not going to happen.
Right.
Who's a little more grounded. You know, it's not going to work. It's like, you know, I totally agree. She's getting the the audience that's listening to her it's working.
Yeah.
Like the crazy accents and all the wackiness. You know, like Christian saying, why would she have to work any harder than that? She's already raking in hundreds of thousands.
Exactly. And I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you can put Rontha away in the same box of toys that you put fucking, you know, those balance bracelets that they find at the mall. You know,
the Fitbit, the Live Strong band.
Yeah, like fucking fad diets and, you know, the
Yeah.
blockchain and NFTs. You know, Rontha.
You think Ramtha has any grip on the blockchain, bro?
Dude.
If she's got any sense.
She will have some grip on the
Oh my
blockchain.
god, dude. The Rontha NFT, I don't know. I don't know if I would be able to resist buying it for the fucking meme.
Nah, don't do it, man. You're gonna bring down the wrath of everybody on this poor podcast. Be like, yeah, man, damn about them on NFT. I'm more afraid of the anti-NFTers than I am of the Romtha militia.
Oh, dog, NFTers don't go outside. You're fine.
She's gonna get up on her stage and like clap her hands together and say, "Romtha has banished all NFTs from this realm. They're gone.
So give them to me, so I can burn
Based
them."
Rontha
The
moment.
blockchain is shattered."
Based Rontha destroys NFTs.
Exactly.
saying.
We're gonna get them to fight each other.
Who will win? All of NFTs or Rontha?
Well, you know, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for me for the fucking Rontha. And, you know, if you want to get in contact with the Mad Tower Radio and share your truth, share your fucking your immortality and about how you fought in World War I. Or if you just want to tell us a simple little ghost story or a cryptid encounter that we could share on the podcast, you can find us at Mad Tower Radio on Twitter, Mad Tower Radio on Instagram. Email us at supermadtower@gmail.com. Type it in the comments of the YouTube video. We are back on Spotify. I am happy to announce all of our episodes will also be on Spotify now. It was a long-winded battle with RSS feeds, Anchor, Spotify, all that good stuff. But we are back on Spotify, right? And if you send in your story, it might just get shared on the podcast, because today I have a story from an Instagram follower, _KN. That's his username on Instagram. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get right into this ghost story. I was at this gym when I was a junior young kid in high school. Went to a place called Valley Forge Military Academy, and in front of my barracks was a building called Price Hall. It was a massive gym, had a pool, underground and everything. Like 3 weight rooms too. The smallest weight room was always abandoned, and apparently for good reason. But obviously I didn't know that at the time. Me and my boys went there for a lift, and we had a decent workout. Place was spooky as hell too. Underground with a flickering light. Can't even make up how perfect it was. So anyways, my one homie told us about the legend on campus. How some dude died here years ago in this weight room. I had my back to the corner of the gym. No one was behind me, but I swear to the gods, I felt a hand clasp my motherfucking shoulder. Never ran so fast in my life. _KN, thank you for sharing, man. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad your lift was good.
Yeah, I'm glad you got a good
spots.
pump, though, dude.
Yeah.
You know, you probably...
The ghost was congratulating him. Just was like, good.
All the adrenaline from that ghost encounter, you should have just ran to the next weight room and kept going, dude. Hit a new fucking PR on the spot.
You're at the prime time to like start busting out new
Deadlift
reps.
600 pounds on the spot. Easy.
Have any of you either experienced like the weird touch sensation or like chills or anything like that?
Nah, just bugs when I'm camping.
Yeah, I've never had anything where like I felt something like grab me or something like that.
No, I don't want anything to grab me.
Yeah, that's a hard one to fight. Like you can pretty easily brush off, I think, noises or maybe like a shimmer of the light, but that kind of more physical stuff, I think that would mess me up.
Yeah, like the day I come away with a ghost hunt with like scratches and bruises is the day I retire ghost hunting.
Shit.
Hey, same here.
Mm-hmm. Well, does anyone else have any closing thoughts?
No, I don't. I liked everyone's stuff that they brought to the table today for sure.
Well, without further ado, let's put this bitch to bed. Once again, that is at Mad Tower Radio on Instagram and Twitter. Email supermadtower@gmail.com. We're on TikTok. We're on Spotify. Go ahead and give us a follow and give us a subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, and go ahead and join the Gunch Squad. And this has been Mad Tower Radio, ending transmission.
A frequency beyond space and time.
Unspeakable knowledge. It is Mad Tower Radio.